Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) on Wednesday continued its nationwide protest in Abuja over the prolonged strike by university workers. The peaceful protest began at the Unity Fountain and the workers marched to the National Assembly with the leadership of the students, members of the NLC, ASU, SANU, ASUP, KOASU, NAT, NUPENG, NANS, National Youth Council of Nigeria, as well as members of the civil society organizations. The protesters carried different placards calling on government to meet their demands and respect the collective bargaining agreement that was freely and mutually reached with the university unions.
This is 13 years between 2009 and now. We've had agreements, the 4 university-based unions. We've signed agreements, and in that agreement, there is a portion where it says that after every 3 years, we must renegotiate. We must come back to the table. We must look at issues as they are. Now, 13 years down the ladder, it is one story to another.
The government has tried in the past to do what we call divide and rule. They will say, after you come and take 100 million, and after you take 1 million, we'll start fighting ourselves. That must stop. And before we go to government anytime, because of this and the Nigerian Labour Congress has done, we want to meet on our various campuses so that we come as one. Our slogan now is a people united can never be defeated.
In the course of the protest, the Nigerian police arrested some hoodlums who disguised as men of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and infiltrated the group to hijack the peaceful protests. The national president of Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), Ayuba described the protest as a wake-up call, adding that there will be no going back on the national strike if the federal government fails to resolve the ongoing strike action in universities and other tertiary institutions. The ASU president, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, regretted that the federal government has failed to honor the agreement it entered into with the union since 2009.
Our children have been alienated completely. I was told over 10 million children in Nigerian public institutions, including 3 sets that are even hanging in the balance because their admission have not been sorted out. 3 sets. Their life and everything is hanging in the balance because there was no admission for 3 sets. This is the situation. They are able to hear the reasoning of wisdom and respond effectively and promptly to resolve this issue. Good for them. But if they are not ready, are we going to be tired?
As of today, the universities are shut down, not because of ASU. And when we started this strike, in other climb, what the government will do when you start a strike, you apprehend it immediately. But we started the strike, we were supposed to start the strike in November 2021. But NIREC, Nigerian Inter-Regional Council, stepped in and said they want to intervene. We said, fine, we'll give you 3 months. So they started, and at the end of 3 months, nothing happened. We started the strike. First 4-week rollover strike, nothing happened. The second one, your man that you saw the picture somewhere, the priest. The first thing he did was to go and stop salary. Instead of resolving problem, you thinking that when you stop salary with 2 or 3 months, we will come begging. But with the resilience of my member, if they like, let them keep this strike for 2 years. We must change Nigerian university system, even no matter what happens. This system must change. Nigeria must change.
The country director of Action Aid, NLC, said government has failed in virtually all fronts. She said the present administration do not value or place any premium on education or the lives and properties of its citizens.
Our children are at home. I know what it is to be a woman, as a mother, and also so many girls within these months that are at home. Many girls have got into that have become very vulnerable, both the male and female. Before they get back now, women are pregnant and so on and so forth. You know, so many girls. We have insecurity, gender-based violence that is going on. Nobody is saying something. If you cannot govern, resign.
It is shameful that a nation with a budget of 16 trillion naira cannot allocate a substantial sum to reactivate, to fund our university system. Where we are today We are here because our educational system has failed. Why should our leaders, who have been products of these services, now turn back against Nigerians? These protests should be the beginning of a mass action to force the political establishment, the bourgeoisie, to do what is necessary, and that is to fund public education as much as they are funding the education of their children and grandchildren.
The Senate President, Ahmed Lawal, who was represented by Deputy Majority Leader Senator Robert Boniface, assured the protesters that the National Assembly will look into their grievances. Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, who was also represented by Honorable Muhammad Wudil, promised to ensure all relevant stakeholders are brought to a roundtable discussion.
Most civilized country in the world, where even the university is away from classroom for 5 months. When they talk of 8 months, when they talk of 1 month. So we are in a hole. And I confirm the receipt of this letter from the NLC in respect of your struggle. The struggle continues. Our later continues. We assure you that, like we said, even though some of you may not believe us, but we are telling you down to our heart that we are bringing everybody, more especially today that you brought in your demand. We are going to make it a national or emergency situation in House of Reps to ensure all your demands are treated as a one due.
5 months after the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, began a strike, the federal government is yet to come to an agreement with the union over the state of Nigerian universities. In Abuja, Nasir Usman for Signature TV.